Okay, boys and girls, this week we're going to talk about how to make an introduction. Alright, so the first thing we need to do to make an introduction is create a pre-write. So this is kind of a review on a pre-write. Most of you are pretty good at this. Of course, the first thing we do at the pre-write is put our name in the upper right-hand corner. Then we put the date. And our period. Okay, the next thing we do is write pre-write in the middle of the paper. Then we write 3 main ideas. And then a 1, 2, 3. Now normally we would have 3 circles to give 5 to 7 details about our main ideas, but for an introduction paragraph all we need is this top part, so we're not going to worry about the circles right now. So let's pretend our topic was, we'll put it in the center here, if you could change anything about your school, what would you change and why? Okay, so for a topic like this, remember we have to pick one topic and then we're going to use our 3 main ideas to explain why. Alright, so let's pretend that I want to have better technology. Alright, so now I'm going to come up with 3 main ideas of how better technology is going to improve my school or change my school for the better. So first, I'm thinking that better technology would increase student learning. I also think that better technology would save our environment. And finally, I think better technology would make everyone's life easier. Alright. So now I have my pre-write set up. It's not too hard to make our topic or introduction paragraph. Alright, so let's put the pre-write over here because remember everything from our pre-write will transfer to our introduction paragraph. Alright, so before we get to our introduction paragraph, let's take a look at things we need for our introduction paragraph. So remember, first we need to make a thesis statement, then we need to state our 3 main ideas, and then we create a closing sentence. And remember earlier, last week we talked about how we can come up with a comma, comma, and thesis statement, and it gives us more room in an introduction to put in an interesting intro, which is what a good introduction needs. Alright, so let's get a new page going here so we can start our introduction. And I think we're going to put that on this side. We're going to put our steps on this side. So the first thing I need to do is come up with an interesting introduction. Remember, last week we talked about 6 interesting intros. So we could either tell a story, ask a question, state a fact, give a strong opinion, give a statistic, or just come up with like that one word attention getter to make an interesting intro. I think for this one we're going to ask a question. That's always an effective method. So I first indent, I'm going to put, have you ever wondered how to improve our school? Okay, so there's an interesting intro. I'm going to highlight it because that's finished. The next thing I need to do is make a thesis statement. And remember, our thesis statement comes directly from our pre-write. So let's take a look at our pre-write again. And we're going to get our steps up over here. Okay, so our thesis statement, remember that's that one statement that tells us what our paragraph's about. So our one statement that tells us what this paragraph is about is our topic. So we can pretty much transfer our topic right into our introduction paragraph. So our topic is, if you could change one thing about your school, or anything about your school, what would you change and why? So I'm going to put, if I could change one thing about our school, I would improve technology. Okay, and remember, a comma, comma, and thesis statement doesn't end with a period, it has a because. And then we're going to combine our three main ideas real quickly. So because it will increase student learning, it will save our environment, comma, and it will make everyone's life easier. Okay, so let's take a look at our steps to an introduction and see what we need to accomplish still. Alright, so we have our interesting intro. We just made our thesis statement and we stated our three main ideas with the comma, comma, and. So the last thing we need to do is create a transition or a closing sentence. We're going to make this full screen so we can actually see a little bit better. So remember that closing sentence is that one sentence that wraps this entire thing up. So we need to re-say the first half of our thesis. So we're going to re-say this right here, except we need to make it just a little bit different. So actually we need to include this technology part in here too. We don't really need our three main ideas in there, just this part. So I might put improving technology would be a major improvement to our school. Alright, so let's go through this just quickly one more time. I'm going to highlight the parts we have. So our first sentence starts out with an interesting intro. That's our interesting intro sentence. Alright. Our next sentence is a combination of our thesis and our three main ideas. So remember, this is the comma, comma, and thesis statement. And our last sentence is our closing sentence. So that's just that one sentence that kind of wraps up what our thesis statement says. Alright, so that's what we're going to be working on this week. We're going to take an intro assessment or quiz on Thursday. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to email me or ask me.